All right, so I want to take a quick step back and look again at what I mentioned in the last video on the end, but didn't go into deep enough. And it was about authority. It was about where I said that the audience, the audience, stupidly enough, is looking for authority in order to decide what content to watch and what content to follow, or what advice to follow up, so to say. And the problem is that because the audience does not have the authority or the knowledge or the experience to know what is good, it can also not choose authority. And so it has to use like shortcuts to authority, which people that trying to portray authority know of and use against you in order to portray authority. So you have this thing where the one who knows is trying to seduce the one who doesn't know by portraying things that he knows or thinks will convince the not knower of him knowing. Do you get what I'm saying? Which makes it possible for someone who doesn't know but is able to portray that he does know, to virtue signal, so to say, to the not knower that he actually knows. And so you have this dynamic where if I'm just very good at portraying authority and I've racked up the quantitative measurement points like subscribers, views, whatever, that just enhances my whole thing. And so I think this is also the dynamic that is behind the fact that most people that get popular or successful with a new medium like blogging, vlogging, YouTube, podcasts, whatever, usually the first ones and the biggest group has done so by explaining how to become successful on that medium. And so everybody's trying to explain how to become successful on that medium. Some get successful because it's quantitative, so they have the following, and thus they prove the whole thing. And that's what I was trying to tie into this survivorship bias, is that I think it was also in the book from Nissim Taleb, Fooled by Randomness, where he's saying, right, if you take 1,000 investors and you let them invest and they all make different choices, then one will pop up as the most successful investor, and we will attribute his path as being the path that he knowingly took to get to where he is. When in fact, one of those thousands will get to that point, and he will then try to explain to you how he got there. And what the amateur or the not knower does is he starts to emulate whatever path that was in order to get to where that person came, because you think he knows how to get there. When it could have been luck, it could have been skill, it could have been skill and luck, it could have been right place, right time, it could have been 1,000 things that the one who got there probably doesn't even know. He didn't know he was going to get to where he was going. He wasn't taking notes on what he was or wasn't doing or what he was thinking or contemplating or trying or not trying, right? You try until you succeed, and then you move on to the next door and you try to break that one open. And it's this dynamic that causes this weird relationship where the one who is the most successful gets to explain how to become successful, and because we feel he's right, we all follow him, and it enhances the whole thing. So it just makes the most successful one more successful and not emulatable, because he's like always 10 steps ahead of you, right? So it's a very tricky situation. And the problem with the new person is he might fall for the trap that the one who pretends to know knows, because he's at the place where you want to go, so he must know, right? Really, the best way for a new person entering this game is to go all by himself. And yes, a lot of them will not make it, and you could say, well, that's not a smart way to do it. But it goes for the same way I think goes for those that follow the popular one, who take the course, or who, right? Still, many of them will not make it. The thing is, the ones that do will then tell about how they took the course, or they followed the guru, or they took the mentor, and it got them to a successful place. So it enhances, or it confirms again the authority that the person who started it all had in the first place, right? So you read the book to set you free, and now you go tell other people that you read that book that set you free. So the person who wrote that book was first already impressive because you thought it was very impressive what he wrote down, but now you're confirming that people need him in order to become free. And that's kind of the thing with authority that I think a lot of people don't realize, and that no matter your skill level, or no matter your interest, no matter your intelligence, no matter all these things, you should always keep your authority to yourself and realize you don't need anything or anyone, no tool, no mentor, no YouTube channel to follow, nothing. Can things be helpful? Most certainly they can. But the secret of success is within you. And there's another important point to realize that too. Being successful should be something that's within your control, as in maybe develop your skill, maybe create a certain output that you desire. What you can't decide on is the impact that it makes. And you can't and shouldn't put success on a level where it has to do with the impact it makes. Because you then enslave yourself to the outcome of what you've created, the impact that it makes, which makes you not free at all. It makes you need to follow rules. You need to, right? And the thing, again, I think I said it in the last video, you can't predict virality of a video. So you're enslaved to this really unclear thing. And then you get to the place where charlatans and con men try to tell you that they have the secret sauce and it's actually possible to create it. And the whole point there is that if virality could be created like on purpose, everyone would do it, and what would constitute needing to be done for a viral video would change. So the thing that creates success, the more it gets repeated, changes what is needed for success. And that is a good one for videos or courses that are trying to be sold by people that tell you, this is how I became a millionaire in a year, and now you can do it too. This is how I make $1,000 a day, now you can do it too, right? As long as it's teachable and repeatable, I will just hire cheap people to do it so I can make that $1,000 a day, and I will pay them 100. If it's not repeatable anymore, I can switch to selling my course on how to make $1,000 a day, because it's not something that has that $1,000 a day value anymore to me. Otherwise I would be doing it. Because trying to convince you to buy my course for, let's say, $25 a month, or the book for $25, or, right? It doesn't hold up to the being able to make $1,000 a day. So people that are sharing secrets are sharing them because they are not secrets, or they're not useful or really worthy. That's why they're trying to sell them to you. So really think about who to give your authority to, why you would do that. And my whole point is, don't do it. Don't ever do it. Be very skeptical to everyone who tries to convince you of the, right? Because the only thing you have to do is listen and think for yourself and see, what is someone saying and how does that stack up to what I think already? Can I fit it in? Does it agree? Does it disagree? Do I understand it? If I don't, then I should try to figure out what he means. And the second point that is interesting is when you meet someone who's saying things that are, you know, impressive to you, so you would give him some authority, is forget about the authority. Try to get rid of the authority by trying to figure out how he got to where he is so he could say those things. Because you need to destroy this one. You need to get past him. You need to get to a place where you're his authority, so to say, right? And quickly you might think, well, that's very arrogant, and right, he's already so successful. No, forget that. Think about the perspective. Think about the skills. Is it his communication, right? This guy I'm listening to right now, he has great communication. Is it something I can or want to be able to emulate? And why would that be? Or do I want his perspective? Do I think what he's saying is interesting and I want to know how I could see the world in a way that he sees it? Knowing that I could never be like this person because I'm not that person, and there's no point in being that person, and you should never want to be that person. Be your own person. But you can look for skills, you can look for perspectives where like, damn, that's interesting. I'm going to steal that from this person. So I'm going to look at him, I'm going to listen to him, I'm going to observe him. What does he do? What does he say? How could he think that? What has he read? What does he do? Right? And for me personally, I'm trying to give you all that. Meaning, I'm leaving out a lot, and I should be better prepared in order to really do the transfer of what I think or know. But I'm not trying to give you the be impressed by me vibe. I'm trying to tell you, this is how I look at things. And I don't care if you listen to the message as long as you disconnect from other messages, right? If I have any authority, it's to tell you to stop giving away your goddamn authority, man. You are the authority. It's your world. You are the master of it. Now pull into it what you will, but don't go giving to other people's their worlds. How do I say this? Anyway, end of rant, end of add-on. I thank you for it, for your attention, and I will talk to you soon.